Have you noticed, though, there's the same type of Rust Belt phenomenon in Manchester? The thing is impossible. You know, you could buy a house for £1,000 and get one free. They just couldn't move them.
Really? No. You'd have to put a lot of money into it to make it habitable.
You'd have to put a lot of money in to make it habitable. Yes. Yes. It's the most comical thing in the world. And we laugh. We laugh with a will in the beginning. But it's always the same. Yes, it's like the funny story we have heard too often. We still find it funny, but we don't laugh anymore.
But would there be a government regulation? You know what I mean? Zoning or such?
Yeah. But these places were habitable.
Yeah?
No, they wouldn't have been. Because they would have already been sorted out. There were big improvement rounds that came along in the 70s and 80s.
Right.
But even, we used to live in a similar place over the border from Reading. And when I sold my mother's house, it already been renovated with government money. That went for £20,000. £22,000.
So probably same thing? It'll impress reporters.
It's just this, as I say, this Rust Belt phenomenon. All of the industrial jobs have just disappeared. I wouldn't encourage anyone to live there for any reasons. But when you look back, you think, I'll remember everything. That was a gold mine. Could have bought 3 dozen of them. Back then, my grandfather, when he bought the house I was born in. That's an interesting story. You know, exactly like your grandparents. He bought the house at the time, just before he was married, I think. And then, it was deep, and you could see to the bottom. So white, so clean. Because he was an engineer. A lot of people were in that area. And I think he got quite well compensated. So because the house deal was going through, the agent selling them said to John Slaney, grandfather, do you want to buy the lot? I can sell you the whole row for, well, you know, next to nothing. But if you have compensation. He didn't end up doing it. But that house, as humble as it was bought in 1899 and I sold it in 2001. It was one of only 8,000 homes, much of which were castles, continuously open across 3 centuries.
In the UK? Make sure you never get taken in by lazy workmen or drunks.
Yeah, in the UK.
8,000? Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yup, I thought it was cool. At your age, they frightened me.
Wow. But, I wonder, when did my grandparents move into that place? It's because you can't understand. There's evil in your eyes.
On Thornley Road. Whom did you call when you were a tiny boy and were frightened in the dark? Your mother? No, me. We let you cry. Then we moved you out of earshot, so that we might sleep in peace. I was asleep, as happy as a king, and you woke me up to have me listen to you. It wasn't indispensable. You didn't really need to have me listen to you.
Yeah, we have to talk. Good thing you came by.
I think I think it in the 60s. I think Brendan.
People used to worship the dead. When you met him, he lived there, or no?
I met him when we were 11 in secondary school. But, yeah, the city does go that far back. How easy it is, they said to me. That's friendship. Yes, yes. No question you found it. They said to me, here's the place. Stop, raise your head and look at all the beauty. That order. They said to me, come now, you're not the brute beast. Think upon these things and you'll see all becomes clear and simple. They said to me, what skilled attention they get, all these dying of their wounds. It's a nice little area, isn't it? As Englishmen, needing a pair of striped trousers in a hurry for the New Year's festivities, goes to his tailor who makes his measurements.
Yeah, from what I remember, definitely. Quaint and quiet. You must learn to suffer better than that if you want them to worry of punishing you.
Quaint, yeah. The only tavern you have around there is the Bull's Head. Then one day, suddenly it ends. It changes. I don't understand. It dies. Or it's me. I don't understand that either. The words that remain, sleeping, walking, morning, evening, they have nothing to say.
I think it was actually closed by the time I was there. A little poetry.
Yeah, it could have been. It's too soon on the top of your tonic. It won't enact. People always used to say the Bull's Head was okay, but then it jumped to C. But really, it was never okay. Never, ever. The priest says the dead are in heaven. I won't argue.
Do you spend a lot of time there, though? Since when are you afraid you'll melt in the rain?
Your dad used to work there. The rain.
I didn't know that. You don't scare him. You're too afraid of him.
He used to have some kind of weird job, and he actually was quite a bit dedicated. He was a serving boy in the billiard room. They had a proper billiard room, which was very, very popular. You know, quite a few guys worked there, and they all had these weird kind of stories about it. It was being done up, and they worked there, so you'd think they know there. And your dad had told me it was being turned into a Western bar. I mean, what's a Western bar? Somebody would say it's going to be a music venue. And, anyway, you know, anytime they opened after a little work, it was always the same, just with a bit of paintwork done. Furiously at first, then slower, then they stopped. Yep, pretty crazy time.
Something about the anticipation made it fun? He was drunk.
Yeah, take it.
But at a certain point, it became obvious.
Yeah. Have you ever met Jack?
Yes, briefly, just like large group. I believe so, at least. What all is, in a word, is that moment you want to know? Just a moment?
When was that, anyway?
I couldn't even say. When would he have come to Chicago? Yeah, I don't know. I had some group dinner when I was very young. I know the name, but
because he used to know your mom's boss, because he was a dermatologist. So he'd not been over the last steps.
Since you were there, I feel a fit coming on.
No, he opened his wide eyes.
Really? How? You didn't use the woods.
I think he'd come to conferences to get various American advices.
Oh, he was involved in the field.
Yeah. At 6, I just left before the others.
Okay. Don't think you'll get off lightly. So...
But yeah, he got over to your place quite a lot. The last time he was there, you could have been born. Remember your dog?
Oh, Barney. I may have promised yesterday.
Barney.
I don't remember him, but I've got stories. But we're...
Oh, you and Barney were coexisting?
For a very brief period of time.
Well, he needed to get the train out. I think you were born. And, he was supposed to be looking out for Barney, making sure Barney was cared. And he wasn't good like that. I once knew a madman who thought the end of the world has come. He was a painter, an engraver. I had a great fondness for him. I used to go and see him in the asylum. I'd take him by the hand and drag him to the window. Look, there, all that rising corn. And there, look, the sails of the herring fleet. All that loveliness.
Yeah?
And Barney ran off.
Yeah, even someone like that couldn't have control them from what I heard. One day you'll be blind like me. You'll be sitting here, a speck in the void, in the dark, forever, like me.
Yeah. He was pretty wild. But anyway, Jack, because he had to get on his flight, just had to ring your mom to say Barney is in the park and I've got to go. Well, your mom came from work to try to track down Barney. But John is otherwise a good guy.
Yeah, of course. I know my dad probably. Was he in Manchester in like 2005?
Yeah, he'd have been in Manchester.
Yeah, I think mainly my dad would have been spending time alone together, kind of hanging out, catching up. But I think that would have been when I met him. Or at like a group dinner. Imagine if our rational being came back to Earth. Wouldn't he be liable to get ideas into his head if he observed us long enough?
Your mom's got all his details still. If you'd still like to talk to him.
Naturally.
Yeah, naturally. Well, should we start making our way back? We'll find a fishing ship.
I mean, it's not necessary. Only if you... It's not necessary. Infinite emptiness will be all around you. All the resurrected dead of all the ages wouldn't fill it. And there you'll be like a little bit of crib in the middle of the steep. Infinite emptiness will be all around you. All the resurrected dead of all the ages wouldn't fill it. And there you'll be in a little bit of grit in the middle of the steep.
Oh no, it's fun though. Would you like to?
Yeah. I think I would. Shall we? Yeah, let's go. really looking forward to the chips. I love it. And the pepper.
Great, great. I know a place just over here. Fuck off! Fuck off! Please, just fuck off! That's it. It's on the case. No. Yeah. Okay, we got some more songs. Fuck off. Fuck off. Please, just fuck off.
Fuck off.
Years, man. 50 years.
50 years.
No.
No.
Yeah. Fuck them all. Fuck them all. Arsenal,
West Ham Palace.
Fuck them all. Fuck them all. Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho. Best goals ever. Jose Mourinho. Fuck them all. Fuck you, man, I said.
Fuck you.
Fuck them in the ass.
They fucked us in
They fucked us in the balls.
Oh.
Well, here's the shot. Shall we?
Oh, yes. Let's head in. Sit in. Yeah, right here. And that was interesting.
It was okay.
So tell me, street sweeping was memorable? Yes.
I think so.
Sounds like it would have been. Yeah, I heard him talk about that.
And also, when your dad worked for the other bits as well as I did, you telling me different, Alex. There were lots of very, very idiosyncratic people, and he loved talking to them and just listening to them in their bizarre stories. There was everyone from out and out there, Alex, to journalists who fled South Africa because of being anti-apartheid, couldn't get properly qualified or ticketed there, to just downright Brightonians who were just like from road-sweeping families. It fascinated me, but it fascinated your dad more, I think.
Yeah, no. It's definitely something that I realized him. And it's definitely something I can relate to personally. And that I feel a very strong connection to him through exactly that.
Yeah.
I feel the same, whatever the word you want to use. Passion or interest that he did.
He loved dialogue, listening to the quirks of what people were saying.
No. Excuse me. I think, honestly, yeah. I mean, it's great to hear you say that. It's something that is very hard to articulate, but I think I do have a strong sense that it is related.
Yeah.
Just like countless relationships with people like that over time. I think a lot of it has to do with just an interest in walking, you know? He walked so much. I love to walk. He would walk like ridiculous distances. He would walk from A to B. It'd be like, why don't you take the train?
Right.
And I think those two things are totally related. like you can run into someone if you walk.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
I just started driving. I don't like it too much.
I don't like driving.
It's terrifying.
I don't remember when I ever did.
Yeah, I mean, at times I get something from it. But in general, it just seems really stressful when you're really considered, like, what could go wrong?
Yeah, no, I don't like driving.
It seems pretty tough here. People are pretty aggressive. Or, I don't know about where you are.
Exactly right, Alex. It just varies. We're very calm and blue collar. There's no traffic lights, no traffic. Oh no, some of the conditions here are just dreadful. Like Hyde Park Corner is the place where there's a roundabout, obviously on the corner of Hyde Park. There's a Hyde Park in Chicago, isn't there?
Yeah, that's actually where the university is.
Oh, right, okay.
University of Chicago.
But anyway, this roundabout, I think it's got like 6 exits and they're all 4 lane, coming on and coming off. And it's just like, how could you even think of going in there? But once you're in it, there's nothing you can do but be aggressive.
Yeah.
To get a jump on the next guy, And it just drives your mind into this paranoia, kill or be killed kind of a thing.
Yeah, totally.
And you can imagine that on bicycles, you were saying this morning.
Sorry?
Imagine doing that on a bicycle.
Yeah. That's crazy.
People get run over by trucks, because the trucks can't see them.
Yeah, it happened. Yeah, I was biking a lot in Chicago. It was pretty friendly, but what's really smart, and I know they have in Northern Europe a lot, and they started to do this in Chicago, to have the bike lane on the other side of the parked cars.
Yeah. Because they used to run. Your dad.
Yeah.
He used to do 10Ks, didn't he?
Yeah.
I remember when he was doing those 10Ks. He was really proud of that.
He was alright at that. I did that as well. Definitely haven't recently. I'd like to get back into it.
It's good just to keep your hand in, isn't it? It doesn't need to be competitive.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I did nothing for a long while. Then I kind of dragged into a charity-sponsored bike around the village, Alex. It's very hilly, and this is about 45 miles. And I did the first one in 2012. This is going to kill me. So I just had to get pretty fit to do it. And then I did another one last September. But you just feel so much better, don't you? For a while, when you're reasonably fit.
No, it's true.
Oh.
Yeah, it's important. It's such a real thing in terms of, I don't know, alcoholism. Like exercise. Oh, fabulous. Thank you. This looks beautiful.
You mean keeping it at bay? Or?
Yeah. I think even one of my dad's friends. You probably met this close neighbor. He lived in my childhood home. Patrick. Patrick Frickley.
Oh, I know Pat. Yeah. Cockney Patrick, yeah.
Yeah. He ran every day, and I think it was totally related to that.
Is he still around, Patrick?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not in touch with him really. I saw him kind of recently, actually. We met up at this place near actually where I live. They serve English food. It was fun. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he is. 'Cause Patrick's married and everything, with kids.
Yeah, 2 daughters. I knew them well growing up. I don't know what they're up to now. I always had a nice time with them.
Does your mom see anything of Sharon? She used to work with.
Sharon?
Sharon, black girl. Used to work at Pinsky with your mom.
All of this food is extremely hot. Do you drink tea every night? I don't remember, Sharon.
Alright, yeah, afraid so, Peter. I do drink tea every single night. But we're dreadful. We're so kind of foggish right now.
You're what? Excuse me?
We're dreadful. Me and Maureen.
How so?
We get to the point of being so foggy that after a certain time of night we'll only drink lemon and ginger as opposed to tea. You know, like people avoid coffee or what have you.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd get to the point of avoiding tea, but...
For what? Related to caffeine?
Yeah. Also, the benefit is, to be honest, if you take lemon and ginger to bed, then you wake up in the middle of the night, you can drink that. It's quite palatable. Whereas cold tea is not really. Not English cold tea with milk in it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And have you had these before?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There's a famous story, totally untrue, about Peter Mandelson, who was one of the grandees of the Labour Party, maybe 20 years ago. Have you come across a guy called Mandelson ever? Have you heard of him by reputation?
No, afraid not.
Very metropolitan, pompous, unusually well educated, grandee of the Labour Party. And the joke is that he's in, I think, his own constituency, which is really working class. But, you know, he has nothing to do with the people. And that was reported in the press, that they just made up to try to get him. He was in a fish and chip shop, and he saw some mushy peas on the side and pointing to them and said to the counterman, "While you're there, good sir, can you give me a helping of that guacamole, if you don't mind?" And that kind of stuck with him for 5 years, even though it was like a total fabrication.
I don't get it. How?
Would you like to?
And it's obviously the bread?
It seems like so hard to believe. Like guacamole? Like something Mexican?
That's crazy. Exactly. Oh.
Exactly right. It's so lazy. Equally hard to believe. Why is he in a fish and chip shop? He never eats fish and chips. Certainly not out of the paper. He's just doing this to lie to people. So they just embroidered a bit of a story with the guacamole story.
Sure. That's hilarious. Can you still find places to serve it in the paper?
Yeah, it's quite a big deal. It's just like seen as a way to do it for takeout.
Yeah, but it's specific to fish and chips?
Yeah, good point, it is.
That's interesting. So what you were saying earlier?
Yeah. So they're like an oil or a gas burner, because they're mounted literally like an 18th century burner. Oil comes in, heats all the iron, which it's made of, and there are other compartments, simmering compartments.
Yeah.
Two circular lids that sit on top of the hot plate if it rings a bell. The only thing going for it, I hate the thing, but my wife likes it. It kind of suits the property because it's old world, but it's inefficient, uneconomic, nothing going for it. They're pretty expensive here, but in the US, they're crazy. Because they're made here, and they're only ever shipped. Because it's cast iron, the shipping fees alone will be like thousands of dollars. And they have experts to put them in and fit them.
Right.
So I mentioned something about this agar going in, and Mary Ellen kind of jumped at it, because she's really kind of an inquisitive girl. Excuse me. Pardon me. What, Dominic? You've got an agar? And then Brendan was playing off that I was kind of minor royalty, and I was related to Lady Sarah Ferguson.
Nice.
It was spun out of control, but no, she's a nice girl.
Like 6 or 7 of them, and she's one of them. I like them all.
They're fun.
They really are.
Yeah, she was good.
I went to a wedding recently of one of these friends' sons, and I caught up with her. That was good.
And is she married?
No, single. 'Cause that was another thing.
Yeah. They were always trying to get Ashworth, who I mentioned before, off with Mary Ellen.
Yeah. No. I think she's classic bachelorette.
Because she's been no chicken by now. Mary Ellen's got to be 50, isn't she?
I think she's quite... I think...
Like 50s, 60s.
Exactly.
So that ship has sailed, as they say.
I don't know.
Exactly right, but you never know.
I mean, she's... Yeah, I think. Unfortunately, with all the housing crisis, she was struggling. I mean, just as far as money. Yeah.
Yeah.
But her loft is really cool. Did you see it?
Yeah, I was really impressed with it.
I like it. She still lives there.
Oh, good. Well, next time you see her, say hi from Dominic. And he's still got his agar.
I definitely will. I hope to see her soon. I don't know when. Yeah, I think I'm kind of closest to her. What the hell are my mom's friends? Just because maybe I think she was closest to my dad. Or I have something going, Even the fact that he made this joke.
Yeah.
He was comfortable enough with her.
Yeah, they had a good relationship. Yeah, Mary Ellen.
Cool person.
And who was your godmother, Alex? Remind me of that again. Is it Kara?
Jeez. I'm not exactly sure.
Because I should know, because I was there.
Could it have... Could it have been the Lewises? Patty?
Patrick.
I don't know. I really don't know.
I'll have to ask her mom.
I can ask her.
Yeah. Let me think. It wasn't her sister, I think.
I don't even know. I mean, are you my godfather?
Yeah.
That's really good to know. I just totally lost touch with whatever those terms were. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad we have, like, an official relationship.
No, I'm your godfather. But who is your godfather? That's what we gotta find out. Oh, sorry, no, I'm struggling. Forget the 2000 thing. You didn't get baptized that month. You were baptized well after?
Yeah, I think so. A couple months. And that's where that would have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was a little devil for a couple months. You were there, though. That's amazing.
Well, I was over.
I mean, sorry that I didn't realize that.
Don't be at all.
No, I mean, I'm glad to know. I'm very glad.
It's a great story in itself. I was over on work because I used to come down in Atlanta a lot. I'd come up to Chicago on a Friday. And then nothing was said to me. Because your dad was supposed to be asking me. We had a really good weekend. We were going out Saturday night to some local restaurant.
Like you knew you had the responsibility, but...
No, I had no idea. No idea whatsoever.
Oh,
And then people started heading to the house, and I said, "Oh, Nance, I got to push off to the airport." "What, John? Hasn't Brendan not said anything to you?" "No. What about?" "Alex's christening. You're the godfather." I said he hadn't said anything. "Oh, yeah. Could you do that and help me out, bro?" So I had to phone up there, lads, to get on a later flight. I'm a godfather.
pretty amazing.
It was a really nice day as well. Really, in every way. Really nice weather. The people were all nice. Good. Now I see what it is. Yes, now I understand what they're at.